Hi, I'm Todd Nathanson.
And I'm Danny Roth.
Oh, let's get this over with. This is the 2021 Grammy obligatory coverage from Song vs. Song. Before we get into anything, the Grammys, as always, are too long and it's very late.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know why you would even lie like this. This is unbelievable to me. It is fucking midnight where I am. Meanwhile, it's 9 o'clock where you are. So I don't want to hear it.
Don't worry. I made up the difference by getting terrible sleep last night.
I don't care about that. Do you think I care about your problems? I don't. I don't want to hear about that. You're wearing a Jim Blossom's t-shirt. Meanwhile, how much work did I put in to watch the Grammys alone? I'm wearing lace fucking gloves and black lipstick. The work I have done. So I don't want to hear this shit.
Was this in preparation for Post Malone's performance?
Apparently, who the fuck knew that he was going to dress like the Undertaker?
He looked like Billy Corgan to me during his really pretentious phase.
I just kept thinking like what? Like the Adore era? Like
yeah.
I just kept waiting for Paul Bearer to show up like, "Oh, Undertaker." Oh.
Okay. Well, that's one of 6 bajillion performances tonight. Let me say, I thought this Grammys was pretty good for a Grammys.
Neither of the things that I thought would either happen or not happen occurred. And one of those things I'm relieved about, and one of those things I'm disappointed about.
Well, let me say that this is, of course, a coronavirus award show. It's a pandemic award show. They delayed it just a tiny bit further. They could have maybe beaten the pandemic, but here it is. It is the middle of March, just about a year into this pandemic, like a year and change. And it's been a brutal year for the music industry. And we're feeling it all around. But I think it really worked for the Grammys in a way that it didn't quite work for the MTV Video Music Awards.
Well, I'll say this. So, what happened was the winners of the night were the set designers and the set decorators.
The staging was superb.
Those folks fucking killed it. That's the best part of the whole night. There were good performances. There were jokes. But the design for the sets and the lighting design and all that stuff, and you know what, I'll say that the people that I think crafted a lot of the costume work and a lot of just the actual clothes that were worn in what would have been the equivalent of a red carpet, all of that stuff really shone through for me. And that's the thing that some of which I think clothing, of course, always comes through in the Grammys. But the reason why I singled out the set designers and the set decorators is because that stuff, never before in the history of the Grammys, and by that I mean the 3 years now that we've covered it, have I seen sets look that good. Real fucking good, dude.
It was an intimate Grammys, I guess. And normally the Grammys are a lot more boring. We'll say it like that. They're a lot more staid and boring. And it felt like instead of the smallness of it, shrinking it just loosened it up more, it feels like. And the performances were, almost all really good. I can't think of any bad ones, just a couple I didn't think were as good as the rest, just a little more fillery. But none I thought were outright bad. And everyone seemed to be just having a good time, and just the way they staged it, you'd see the crew in the background getting down, and the other artists on the other side of the stage. They were way more into it than they would have been in their seats in the Staples Center. I really loved the way it looked. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, truly, it was the set design and the set decorators. Whatever that team was, I doubt they've ever had an opportunity like that before, assuming that it's the same group of people that have worked on it in the past. And I really feel like they were okay, we're going to do this. And it really worked. The set they created, I saw somebody's joke tweet of the Taylor Swift stuff, that it looked like Into the Woods. It was incredible. Did you look at that fucking set?
Yeah. Are we in the clear yet? Are we into the woods?
Oh, it's Are We Out of the Woods?
Ah.
You see that I decided to avoid your joke. Who's the winner of the night? Who is the winner of the night? If there's one person, who is it?
I would have to say Megan Thee Stallion.
100%. 100%.
Much like Kendrick Lamar in 2013 and 2015, she won by losing that last one, but she also won by winning quite a bit.
Well, she won.
Tonight.
So she won 2 awards on the night. Mm-hmm. And there was this weird moment where like Trevor Noah comes out for her second win to do like the award host equivalent of Kanye Westing. Where it's like, but did you know that Beyonce? And it's like, we all know. We literally all know. Everybody knows. Like, all right, so here's what I want to say
there's a little back patting about that. I was like, yes, our most awarded artist is a black woman, because there's a lot of damage control going on that night.
Oh yes, there's a lot of things that they did to try and make. So I really thought somewhere during the night someone was going to mention The Weeknd, but like every time they did something like that, it was them mentioning him without mentioning him.
Yeah, The Weeknd is a specter, but an unseen, unmentioned one over the entire Grammys. It is so weird that he was not nominated for anything this year. That's crazy. I don't love that album as much as a lot of people do, but like it's something the Grammys should like, and it's weird. It's just so weird that he didn't, like, who did he piss off?
It was on the Billboard Hot 100 for a year. A year? Yeah. A year. No, there's like no reason for it not for him
a year
to not
later.
be
It's at
represented.
number 3 right now. It's at number 3 song in the world. I mean, it's song in the country. Excuse me.
Here, I tweeted this, but I want to say it on the podcast because most people that will watch this will not follow me on Twitter, and that's fine. The thing, so like, Beyonce wins an award, and it's like our queen won an award. And we're all happy because we all love our queen.
Right.
Dua Lipa wins an award, and it's like an ethereal angel descended from heaven and accepted a Grammy. And that's great. And I loved, and and we'll talk about Dua Lipa in due course.
I'm sure
we will.
It's
It's wonderful that she won. I am a stan. This is like, I'm about to turn 41, and I stan her so hard. But when Meg wins an award, we all win. Everybody wins when Meg wins an award. Like, for me, all right, so like this weekend, I had a 3-hour conversation with my friend Vita. Mm-hmm. And everything that we talked about, to me, is like the kind of stuff that Meg talks about and the way that she is. And Darren and I had like a 3-hour marathon conversation last night, talking about rap music and talking about the trajectory of it. And like everything about that, to me, again, it's the same thing. Like, Meg is a fan of rap music, and like she's a fan of the artists within that genre, and she's just a real fucking person. Like, she goes on Instagram and is like, I've decided to lose some weight my way. And it's like, when she's talking about it, I feel it. Like, I relate to her. Like, everything that she does makes sense to me. Like, I don't understand Beyonce. I can't. That's like trying to understand the universe. I can't. Like, again, like Dua Lipa is an angel descendant from above. I can't relate to her. I just want to be her. But Meg, we're all Megan Thee Stallion. Like, every single one of us. She's just such an authentic, regular person. And watching her succeed and watching someone like Billie Eilish at the end of the show wrap it up by being like, Megan Thee Stallion Meg is the fucking winner. That's who should have won this fucking last award. And to everybody to know, like, that's right. That's right. And when it's Meg, it literally, like, maybe not you, Todd, but most people, I feel like most people really relate with her. And like, I think that artists like that are truly rare. And so seeing her win is deeply gratifying.
Megan seems to be like someone everyone's happy for, except Tory Lanez. Hope he's doing okay.
Do you?
No, not remotely. But yeah, that's I was happy for Megan. The Beyonce thing was like everyone's happy for Beyonce too. She set a record this year, like you say, but she is very remote. She hasn't done it. I think she hasn't done like a real interview, or like she's only done like one press interview in like 10 years with Oprah, and she didn't really reveal much. And
yeah, I mean, she does press interviews less than Joe Biden. Like,
yeah, it's a funny thing. One thing the Grammys did this year that I really appreciated was they did like a video package for each of the Record of the Year nominees. And let me say, I love that idea because for so long, like almost the entire time I've been watching it, the Grammys' actual awards do not matter. And it seems like no one cares about it. And for this, like actually like giving hype to the nominees, like they matter. It's beyond just filling time with performances, but like actually mattering, like who wins and like these are good people who were nominated for a reason. I like that a lot, and I hope they keep doing it because so many times the Grammys feel like we're just killing time.
As long as we can all agree to stop doing COVID jokes.
Oh boy! But my point is, everyone did interviews for these little short video packages, except Beyonce.
Right. I mean, like, so, like, that's the thing. And, like, look, I don't think any of us expect that of her. Again, it's like, when you love Beyonce, it's like loving the sun. Like, I appreciate that she brings light and warmth to the planet Earth. But I can't relate to her. She is a celestial fucking being. Like... Yes, so they made a big point about the fact that like now she has won more Grammys than anyone else on Earth ever. And like, I don't know. Didn't that like, I'd assume that was already true. And if I didn't, then it was inevitable.
It was, but at the same time, the back patting is like just the most awkward thing because yes, they gave her even more Grammys tonight. But she's never won one of the big ones. It's always best R&B whatever, or best melodic R&B hip-hop collaboration solo duet or whatever the fuck. And this is like the most Grammys thing in the universe. To give themselves credit for that, or like trying to give something people, you know, who are angry about the weekend something to be glad about. And they did, or they almost did. And yet all the big categories, the three big ones, went to Dua Lipa, to Taylor Swift, and to Billie Eilish.
You know how there's this, to give it a modern spin, I guess, you know how like there's this thing that they passed, a package for the end of COVID, for all of like this money and support to go out to people, like that passed in the House and the Senate. You familiar? This is the thing that happened?
Yes.
And then a bunch of Republicans were like, you're welcome. And they all voted against it. That's the Grammys trying to take credit for Beyonce. Like, it's the same shit. Like, you're like, you guys don't get to take credit for this shit. Like, you don't. You had no fucking hand in Beyonce's success. You just didn't. Like, it's cute that you give her awards and that technically she's got the most Grammys or whatever, but, like, the Grammys have got 0% to do with the success that again, like the Grammys are an award show. Beyonce is the reason that the universe exists at all. You know, I mean, like it's very funny. It's amusing to me. It's laughable. But listen, just very quickly, there was a commercial where Kevin Bacon talked about Tremors. Did you know that? Or did you watch it on like a streaming service?
I watched it on CBS, but people were talking about commercials that I didn't see, so it might be different on the East Coast.
I'm just telling you right now that like Kevin Bacon was in a Verizon commercial, and I was like, ugh, Verizon. But then he was talking about Tremors. And Tremors got a UHD release recently, and I just need the world to know about that. That's it.
Okay.
That's the like the less than a minute thing that I need the world to know. Okay, so let's go through the awards real quick.
Okay. The ones they gave out on stage.
Yeah, the ones they actually gave out on stage. So Best New Artist went to Megan Thee Stallion. The best part about that is that Lizzo gave it away. Perfect. You couldn't fucking top that. Lizzo giving a fucking award to Megan Thee Stallion is the most perfect thing that you could possibly achieve.
I would have given Megan some more awards than she did, but like she won quite like this is the one she needed to win. Like if the Grammys did not give Megan Thee Stallion Best New Artist, especially considering the lineup they had up there, like the world would have burnt down.
All right, so that's absolutely right. I want to qualify very quickly that that Chica was also up for that fucking award.
Mm-hmm.
And in another dimension where Megan Thee Stallion did not have the year that she had, it should have gone to Chica. And I'm happy that Chica had a great Facebook Hangouts or whatever the fuck it is commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Chica fucking like cashed the check during the Grammys, but like she put out such a great album in 2020 and like actually just dropped another EP like right before the Grammys. And like if I was going to pick out a single rapper right now that like is my number one favorite to just listen to on a loop, it's definitely Chica. Mm-hmm. But there's no way that Megan, like if Megan didn't win, like the world would stop fucking spinning. For Best New Artist, that would be insane. It would be crazy.
It would be very crazy.
So she won, but it was the cherry on top was Lizzo giving it away, like because they were like joking the whole time because like Lizzo kept saying like stop looking at me. Like what is that relationship like? Are they best friends? Do they hate each other? Is it both?
I know Megan has to have some enemies, but it seems like Megan is friendly with everyone. Like she's friendly with Cardi, but she's also friendly with Nicki in the extent that anyone is friendly with Nicki.
Nobody's friends with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, you're probably right. I take that back.
It is occasionally expedient to be affiliated with Nicki Minaj. That's it. Sorry,
yeah, I take
Nicki.
that back. You are.
I know you're a longtime listener of the podcast, but you've got to know.
That's that on that.
Truly. But yeah, it was very nice to see. Like, it was just a good feeling. Like, the Grammys coming into it obviously had a detriment because of the weekend situation. Very bad. But that the first award of the night was Lizzo giving the award to Megan was like just a deep down good wholesome feeling.
Yeah.
Real good. And then like this weird thing happened. I would like to talk to you about Harry Styles.
Okay. Because
he won an award.
Yes, he did. Best pop solo something.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that record? How do you feel about that song?
I like the album a lot. I have no idea why that song was so big. It was not the worst song nominated in that category. That, of course, would be Bieber with Yummy. That was a pretty distant, like, next to last for Harry Styles. I'm glad Harry won something. I like Harry. It's pretty funny that he won it right over his ex, Taylor Swift, in the same category. Yeah, no, Watermelon Sugar it was always just filler to me on that album. I never really quite clear why that was that was his number one single. His only number one, so I don't get it. It's
really weird. Like, okay, so to me, I don't always go for the ballad, but I think that Falling of the songs off that album that tracked in any way, like that's like his Don't Speak. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something about it that like I just think is great, and if that was the one that fucking won it for him, I probably would have felt different. But like, I don't know. I watched Harry Styles wear bell bottoms on the Grammys, and I was like, don't let bell bottoms come back. That's like the second worst thing that could happen. The worst thing being low rise anything, and that's right. I know that's also happening. That's a fucking nightmare come to life. Enjoy it. I guess if you're a teenager and you're in your early 20s, enjoy low rise. But like, it's evil. It's evil for everybody else. And Harry Styles winning that award, like, I don't know. It's the bell bottoms winning. That's all. Like, I don't hate Harry Styles by any stretch, and that song is fine. But like, it's like bell bottoms won, and I don't really want that.
Anything else interesting when this? I don't know. Like just like always, they do all the awards for in the pre-show 3 hours earlier.
Yeah, I didn't. So I feel bad because I didn't take a lot of notes about the real quick stuff, like stuff that was previous.
I'll tell you this: Song of the Year. That one was a weird one for me. That one went to Hers, I Can't Breathe. That was the big well, it was not a big protest song. I heard it a few times on the R&B stations, but I not heard any chatter about it. I was like really surprised. Like it wasn't like it didn't do what The Bigger Picture did by Lil Baby. That was like the big protest anthem of the year. Or even Black Parade, which was not like a huge hit, but like I've heard people mention Beyonce. I Can't Breathe by her. I was like, huh. H.U.H.
So here's, all right, so I have, my explanation for that is, like, you know how, like, they had Black Pumas up for anything?
Yes.
You know that? To me, her winning that award was the equivalent of the fact that Black Pumas were up for anything. Like, I guess, like, she's a real Grammy darling. Like, I don't hate her by any stretch, but, like, I don't feel that attachment. Like, I did a lot of prep for this, and there was a lot of music I already knew. But, like, her is one of those artists that I know because the Grammys, to be completely transparent.
Yeah, no, that her is also an artist I know because of the Grammys. That's what I know her from primarily, and she's gotten better. She's gotten more stuff that was like, I would listen to this if it wasn't Grammy nominated. Like, I would listen to this on my own time, and I have. I really like her newest, one of her more recent songs called Damage. Much like Black Pumas and much like Jacob Collier, just industry plant written all over. And I don't like using that word very often. I use that very sparingly, but she is such a plant that she hops around in a pot of dirt. She is such a plant. And
da-doot. Plant da-doot.
I don't know, that song's fine. It's no The Bigger Picture, which, you know, that was the one I really liked. But it was pretty low on the, you know, I feel like I'm being disrespectful because, you know, it's a protest anthem, but I never noticed that one.
So very quickly, I kind of want to talk about the fact that, like, DaBaby's fucking performance of Rockstar was great. Fucking transcendent for me. Real fucking good. And it was especially benefited by the fact that, first of all, so I don't know what the deal is, but he wears a lot of Chanel. And Chanel's like a fucking Nazi. I love that, like, Chanel's spinning in her grave, like, because DaBaby is fucking wearing Chanel. I love that. Yeah. And, like, so, like, his wardrobe is great. His like, having that woman come out and play the fucking violin, like, it was a great performance of that song. And, like, listen to Rockstar versus Rockstar, an episode of Song versus Song that we did with Daron Jackson, the rap critic. The more time that has passed, the more I have come to really like that song, and I understand why Lil Baby, like, kind of, like, his song is a little bit more protesty and has gotten a little more publicity, but, like, I love Rockstar, and I thought that performance on the night was really incredible, and it reminded me that I am right, as I so often am about music, that song is good and doesn't quite get the accolades that it deserves.
Well, I mean, it was the number one hit for many weeks, but
I don't think it gets, like, that critical praise.
That's fair. This was a star-making performance by DaBaby, and the only reason he hasn't had a star-making performance yet is because of the coronavirus. Like, that's literally it. Like, but, like, this was, like, his time to show. I had a friend recently tell me, he's like, even though Maroon 5 songs are not good, you can always use them to tell which guest rapper really wants to be big and really wants that big crossover success. The Grammys are kind of like that too. You can tell DaBaby wants to be the biggest goddamn thing in the universe because he brought it tonight.
And I think that, like, you're gonna see, like, I mean, like, you know, I'd made this sort of joke that, like, he's gonna put out an I'm DaBaby Gotta Love Me album, but he's due. Like, he put out that last EP or whatever, where it was, like, talking about his brother, and, like, that's good and that's relevant, and it's important that he did that, but, like, he's due for a big, loud, fun album. And I think we're going to get that, if not this year, next year. And I think that if you saw the Grammys performance, if you watched it live, and if not, definitely go and I'm sure it'll be on YouTube or whatever pretty quickly, you'll really see it. Like, you'll really see the trajectory of where he's headed. I just think that, like, I don't know. Like, I look at Lil Baby and I'm like, I don't know where Lil Baby's going to go next. DaBaby, I can see it clear as a fucking bell.
Yeah, he wants it. He's ready for it. If I can say, like, I don't know if this is my favorite performance, but it put me in a real good mood that carried me through, well, almost all of the Grammys. I was getting tired there by the end, but I really liked the opening 1, 2, 3 combo of Harry Styles, Billie Eilish, and was it Haim? Yeah. Was there a fourth one in there?
I really liked Haim. Haim was I thought was the best of the three.
No, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Watermelon Sugar, but I was like, yeah, this is good. This is I like this better live than I do on the record. And then Billie Eilish, I mean, it was basically the same performance because she's not gonna like turn it up live. Like that's who she is. But I like that one.
Harry kind of turned it down. He almost made like a fucking torch song, and it was fun. Yeah.
And Billie Eilish, I liked seeing her dance. Like it, and then
but Billie Eilish looked like she was in the fucking Stranger Things Upside Down, and that's right.
As she always does.
She does. I mean, she's a fucking horror movie. That's why I like her.
Yeah, same.
Is Billie Eilish not in how has she not appeared in a horror movie yet? She has to. I'll write that movie. She
is wisely keeping her exposure at the right level, I feel
she belongs in a horror film. And that's fucking reality. That's it.
She is already in a horror movie. It'd be redundant. But
how dare you? I'm all right, fine. But yeah, I mean, like
Haim killed it. That's a
the
song.
Steps was so good.
It was really good. I really liked it. It was like one of those, like, again, this sounds better live than it does on the record, and it sounds fine on the record, but like they brought an energy to it. You can hear the drums, you can hear the bass, you can see her singing and drumming at the same time. I think the drums were kind of loud because she had to have the mic right up next to her so she could sing, but like I really liked it. It needed to be like that. I loved it. I really did.
So to go really, really, really pinpoint specific, that performance reminded me of a song that I really loved in the mid 2000s called "Oh My God" by Ida Maria. Mm-hmm. Like that has a lot of like. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what that performance of that song specifically reminded me of, because like the energy that it had, that just exuberance, like. That's like, it's upbeat, but it's still kind of like screamy and it sort of rocks. Like, that's what they kind of brought to it. And that was the thing that made me really excited. Like you said, I thought that all those performances were good. I was dreading because I thought that there was going to be another performance after Steps, but like, that was where it ended, and bless that they waited until later to bring in the band that was the most planty plant that ever planted.
Oh yeah, Hey, I even like Black Pumas a little more live than I did, on the record. Black Pumas is perfectly ignorable NPR rock.
I don't know anything about them except that the white guy looks like he dresses like Lyle Lovett.
I was true.
Like, oh, is it Lyle Lovett? It's not.
That would explain why it's got so much attention. Like, the Black Pumas thing is just so weird because they got nominated for the deluxe edition of an album that came out 2 years ago. And
every time they appeared, I was like, "Where's the Weeknd?"
They were nominated for, and then there's like the deluxe edition came out in the nomination period, so we'll count that. I was like, there's no reason why they should be bending the rules for Black fucking Pumas. Or Jacob Collier, who no one has ever fucking heard of except for like the bunch of weird music theory nerds, and that album fucking sucks. The Jacob Collier album sucks.
I'm completely out of the loop on Bad Bunny. Do you have any thoughts? Just because like I know that Bad Bunny is like really out in the fucking world right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of a reggaeton moron, and I don't know. I know he's. I've heard Dakiti, the song he performed 6 billion times in the past year, and I just didn't really need to hear it again, honestly. It was fine. It was not one of the better performances of the night. By the way, please tell me you were still awake during the BTS performance, because I completely spaced, and I was like, oh no. It was there.
I have nothing to say about BTS. Like, to me, BTS has got their army. They'll have that army forever. I think that Dynamite is thoroughly unremarkable.
I know a lot of people who really like Dynamite. I liked Dynamite the first time I heard it. By the fifth time I heard it, it was already wearing out on me.
I just like it's not that
I can think of many songs
wear
I
me
like
out.
more.
I really don't like. I heard it the first time and I was like, this is fun. Mm-hmm. But like the fun that you know how some songs are fun and no matter how many times you listen to them, they remain fun. Mm-hmm. I don't find that Dynamite is obnoxious. I just am over it.
It's the can't stop the feeling of this year. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just okay. And like I look at them and I think I don't know. Like they have to thread a very specific needle to stay in mainstream success, and I think the chances of that are pretty low.
Now that they've got their big hit, I think they've crowbarred their way in. And
you may be right. You're far more music critic than I.
I don't know. Like even before they had their one song that everyone knows. They commanded such power. Like they'd show up on an award show and or like on SNL or on a talk show or something, and it'd be like the highest rated thing of the goddamn of the month for them or the year for them. So I think BTS are just too popular right now that they're going to just disappear. But they should probably release some other songs soon. Especially since I put money on them in the pop music fantasy league that I'm in.
I can't believe that you are in a pop music fantasy league and you didn't tell me that it existed. It's hurt. It's deeply hurtful. And on that note, let's talk about Dua Lipa.
Oh, that's a kind of performance that would not have happened on other Grammys.
That was fucking legendary, life-altering. I only say this because I'm obsessed with Dua Lipa. I don't know that anybody else will feel the way that I feel. Like, every part of that performance, the costumes that she was wearing, like, I was so obsessed with every little detail. Like, I just want to be her. That's it. I just want to be Dua Lipa. She's so good. Like, every single thing that she does. And, like, it's so funny because when she won her award, it was the most pat standard speech in history. And I was like, she's just so sweet. You're very cute. Like, I don't know. She's just a perfect little elfin. I don't know what. She's just perfect.
Oh.
Like, is she even a person? I don't think she is. Somebody wrote her into existence. She's so perfect. And that performance was great. The costume was great. Don't Start Now is such a good fucking song. And like, also, I feel like what's interesting is that, the Grammys is not always right about anything, but best pop album, if she was going to win anything, is the right thing for her to win. Because the thing is, that album specifically is great. Like,
it's a very good album.
You had did your best songs of 2020 and didn't include her, but it sort of made a point of saying that, like, if you view the album as a whole, it's just so fucking good.
I was always happy to hear Dua Lipa all year. I was never tired of any of her hits. They never wore out for me. They didn't remotely wear out. And but like they're still even better on the record. Like I think it just feels better on the record. It's a very whole.
Yeah, like once you start listening to it, you pretty much won't stop.
Because I can't stop.
But like, I don't know that Physical was ever a really big hit in America. And like,
no, it was not.
I'll listen to that fucking song 24/7.
I think that was there was a big hit in the UK, but not here.
I'm like, that song is so fucking good. And when she re-released with the Midnight version, like with what the fuck is it? We're Good or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. Like,
We're Good. I wasn't.
Oh, you don't like that song?
Not really. I've never been like that trop pop kind of beat.
It's a music video where she's like on the Titanic and a lobster gets away. I love it. I don't know. She is of 2020 was a bad year for everybody. It was not good. Mm-hmm. And if I was going to pick one album that made me feel better, if I was going to pick one album that was guaranteed to get me on my feet and dancing on the worst days, it was Future Nostalgia. So that it won an album of the year. That of course went to fucking Taylor Swift, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that it won best pop album, that was right. It was exactly the award she, like, I want her to win everything. I'm obsessed with her, but that's a personal problem.
Mm-hmm.
But Best Pop Album was the right award for her to win.
So what do you have to say about Miss Taylor? I like that album. I did. I like that album a lot too.
It's fine. I don't
know.
so
I was absolutely predicting, like, I bet there's going to be an album of the year, pop album of the year split. They're going to give one to Taylor and one to... I was dead on this one.
You were right. I mean, I was so afraid that Dua was going to go home empty-handed. I was really afraid. I thought that Taylor was going to win more than she did. I'm glad that she won one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't actually think she deserved any more than that. I like Cardigan, and I like the album that it's on. I don't really
Cardigan is one of my lesser favorite songs off that album. I like that she began her performance with August. I think that's one of the stronger ones on that album.
I mean, that again, it's the same thing where, like, you listen to the whole record and it's good. It's funny because she put out 2 albums and, like, the second album's fine. It's like a double album, right? Where like CD number 2 just isn't as good as the first one.
It's the reload to the load.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh God, I don't.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. We can't get.
It's the side B album. It's the side B album.
It is. It's fine. Folklore is good, and like I knew Taylor Swift was not going to go home empty-handed. There was no way, no fucking way. She put out 2 albums where she got nothing. Like there was no way that was going to happen a third time. She's still Taylor Swift, but I'll say this: to me, I look at this era of Taylor Swift, and it's like. It's the Bruce Springsteen Secret Garden era of Taylor. I don't know what happens next for her. Like, yes, that's a very specific reference for older people. Mm-hmm. It's not like, and that's not an insult. I guess I don't know that, like, Taylor Swift, does she care? Is it important for her to keep winning Grammys? Because it shouldn't. She's really fucking proved it. Hasn't she at this point?
Yeah.
Hasn't she proved that, like I saw, like, I made fun of somebody who on Twitter said that it was stupid that some critic put her on the same pedestal as, like, Stevie Wonder and Paul Simon and a couple others.
Everyone was dunking on that guy. Yeah.
But, like, why were you dunking? Why did people dunk on that? Like, isn't she? At this fucking point, hasn't she done enough? Like...
Oh, you were saying the opposite.
No, I don't. I'm not dunking on that at all. I saw somebody dunk on it, and I was like, I think you're wrong.
Well, there's no way to know how things will look in the future, but, like, Taylor Swift has been doing this for 15 years. Like, there's every chance in the universe that she's going to be looked upon like a Paul Simon. Like anyone who has listened to our podcast knows that, like, I don't have really, like, I have liked some songs of Taylor Swift, but I don't have, like, that passion for her. Mm-hmm. But just by sheer longevity and awareness of the fact that, like, she has repeatedly connected with so many people, like, I love Paul Simon, but, like, my love of Paul Simon doesn't make him any more or less important in the pantheon of pop music than Taylor Swift. Yeah. That's it. Like, I guess I just, like, what's the diff? What is the fucking diff other than the fact that I'm older? I have stronger opinions about the next episode that we're doing, both artists, like Melissa Etheridge, Indigo Girls, like that era of folk music, like, because I was a certain age. That's all it is. Like, Taylor Swift has been too important to too many people, writes her own music, and is doing it in a way that, like, yeah, like, I don't think it's weird to compare her with Paul Simon. I don't think that's weird at all. No,
me
neither.
Don't. I think that people who drag that critic, like, it's a real okay boomer situation. Not that that's a term that people use anymore, but, like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Let's see, what else was there was the tributes to the many people who died.
Holy shit. Wow. That was a great fucking tribute night.
Yeah.
Between Lionel Richie and Brandi Carlile. Wow. Those 2 performances especially.
Yeah.
Woo! Incredible. So do you know what the relationship is between Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers? Like, what's the deal? Like, clearly they were buds.
Lionel Richie wrote that song. That Kenny
Rogers. I
Rogers.
didn't know that. Listen, I'm completely out of touch. I didn't know that.
Out of touch. You got to get with the hip kids. Everyone knows that Lionel Richie wrote Kenny Rogers' Lady.
My finger is far from the pulse. And has been for decades, apparently.
Well, you got to get in touch with the hot new pop songs of 1980. But yeah,
it was
that's
amazing.
What that is.
I fucking cried ugly ass tears. That was incredible. And then Brandi Carlile, I mean, as you know, I just think she's got such a good voice.
You're a near stand for Brandi Carlile, I feel like.
Very, very close. I mean, like, I'm not as obsessed with her as I am. Like, Dua Lipa is just the pinnacle. But Brandi Carlile did that one song, The Joke. And I thought that it was just the most perfect song for that year, and nothing came close. And then I started to familiarize myself with the rest of her work. And she's just great because she has such a fucking elegant, mature voice. And hearing her do an homage to Prine that way was like, I was already a wreck because of Lionel Richie. And that just took me over the fucking edge.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was just so tremendous.
I feel like I should just give a mention real quick to, it started off with a Little Richard tribute. Yep. That was Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. And you are going to see Anderson .Paak at many future Grammys, is my prediction.
I think that's right. And like, you know what? I think that's right. I think Anderson .Paak is like a capital A artist. And Bruno Mars, like, honestly, like, I watched him do that Little Richard thing, and I was like, they should make a Little Richard musical on Broadway and just bring Bruno Mars right in.
Well, Bruno Mars is not Little Richard, but...
No, but, like, he's Broadway Little Richard.
I liked their other performance, the what's the name? Silk Sonic? Silk Sonic is the name of the thing. And I don't know, I'm not quite a huge fan of that song, honestly. It's fine. I like the style. I'm not sure I like the actual song. And that was one of the performances where I could like really feel like this was pre-taped. And like there were a lot of live stuff, and they did a great job at like making the pre-taped ones seem live. They made them perform on the same stage as everyone else, even if it was pre-taped, and I liked that. That was very smart. It's
fine. Yeah, the thing is that Bruno Mars specifically has had much better tracks in the last 2 years.
I know people who really love that song, the new one. I'm a little on it. But
yeah, I mean, like,
I
feel about that the way that I feel about Up.
Up is not WAP, but I like Up.
It's good, but that's the thing. Like, I literally feel the same way. It's good, but like, Cardi has put out much better tracks, and Bruno Mars has put out much better tracks in the last 2 years, and that's all. Like, for me personally. And on that note, shall we talk about WAP and CBS, the network that brought you Jag?
CBS, the old people. They bring you Young Sheldon and NCIS and NCIS.
This is
LA.
Literally the very moment you realize that CBS is going to attempt to allow WAP to go off on broadcast television. The worst network that could attempt this. There is no worse option. And by that I mean it's the best option because you know it's going to be absolutely bonkers. That you'll never stop laughing. The more you think about it, it's like the joke that you laugh so hard that it kills you. That it's like that.
Me stuttering like this is like what it was like listening to WAP for every other word was bleeped out. In my favorite moment, they bleeped out the word bucket, but not
once,
mop.
but not twice.
One time they bleeped out bucket, and one time they left it in. It was crazy. And like, you could tell because you could see their mouths that they were practicing. They were like, they weren't being bleeped. They were just not saying the words. It's just like, how do you memorize that? How do you memorize that you have to not say every fifth word? Like, that's got to, the amount of rehearsals it must have taken.
It was singularly the most bizarre thing.
Post Malone seemed to like it.
He did. I mean, like, look, here's the thing. You put Cardi and Meg on a stage, it's gonna be good. Like,
it doesn't
like, they don't need to do anything. They could just appear. and be there. Like, especially, I mean, my love of Cardi is endless. Like, she is just like genuinely, like, if I was to sit down and try and like say like who are the best rappers of the 21st century, she's a strong fucking contender, dude. She's so good.
I know that's right.
Like, she's just so fucking good at what she does. And like, again, same thing. Like, Cardi comes out and I'm like, so like Meg, again, it's the same thing where it's like, we're all Meg. Everybody's Megan Thee Stallion. Even you, Todd. You might not think that you are, but you are. Cardi is not like Beyonce or anybody else. Like, but she is so weird. She is so otherworldly that nobody's her but her.
Yeah.
I watch a Cardi performance and I'm like, I just want to be here for a day. Just one day. Not the whole time. Not forever. Just one day as Cardi B. That just sounds like it would be so cool. So weird. I just want to be Cardi B doing Cardi Tries, the Facebook series, trying to play basketball in the fucking most thirsty outfit that I can find. And so that she can relate to the kids. I just love her, and that performance was good. Again, like you said, there were like no bad performances, and I don't think there were.
I'm not sure it needed to be this stage, but I liked Lil Baby's The Bigger Picture, and that was the most stagey of them. That was like a full play going on with Lil Baby, and they brought a killer mic. That was amazing. I was like, whoa, that came out the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah, all right, so I do have one song, and I'm almost afraid to even talk about it because, as we all know, I will inevitably say something on this podcast that will be incendiary. Black Like Me.
I'm fine with Black Like Me.
I do not like that song. So here's the thing, like, especially, there was something about this Grammys performance, and let me explain. So, like, Mickey put on this very heavy, long train sequin dress. And like, all I could think was, she wrote a song called Black Like Me, and she's trying so hard to fit into country music. And like, that dress is so heavy that it's weighing her down. And to me, that song is the equivalent of that dress.
It is a heavy song. I'm not going to tell you it's my favorite country song of the year. I appreciate it at the very least, maybe a tiny bit more than I like it. I really think she should have gone on last, like, of the three, like, because it was the power performance, and then we got Bluebird and The Bones by Miranda and Maren Morris, and I'm fine with those songs. I like those songs, but those are not closers. They had to close because they went in order of which was the biggest hit, and Black Like Me was not a hit at all. It's just like an interesting, a buzz song that you pay attention to if you care about like country music and the things that are going on in it. But it was not like a hit or anything. It was like a blog hit. Maybe
I'm like, look, I may be completely wrong. I guess, like, I don't know. Man, it's not like I've ever struggled with liking black music in my life. You know what I mean? Like, literally, we've spent so much time talking about music that I like that's by black artists. There's something about that song that really doesn't connect for me. There's something so centrist about it. For a song that is trying to say something progressive, it does it in the most, is this okay? Did I do it right? Kind of way. And that's me. That's my reaction to it. If somebody listens to it and it resonates, I'm not trying to tell anybody that they can't feel that way. But like, it just didn't work for me. It has never worked for me. And there was something about the dress that she wore that typified everything that I already felt about that song.
Well, we've only talked about 40% of the performances so far. The one that really didn't work for me was Say So.
Really? It
No.
was a lot. It was a lot.
I didn't like her performance at the MTV VMAs either. There was one that she did at the European MTV Awards that I liked a lot. It was like a weird nu metal thing, and I'm not sure I'd like it to listen to, but like as just something really unexpected, I liked that performance. And this, the Cyborg thing, I don't know, didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. It didn't work for me.
I didn't feel that way. I wrote the word intense all in caps. And I think that sort of typifies it, but like, I didn't feel as negative about it. Like, we agree about the VMAs. I didn't connect with that at all. I felt better about this than I did about the VMA performance. Doja is like, she's really trying.
She is. She wants it.
She's
given 110.
When she did when she had her little interstitial where they talked to her, she was like, oh, like, I was up for Best New Artist, but, like, I've been around for a long time. And there was something about the speech that she gave where it was like, I just have this feeling that she's never going to get there. And I could be wrong. And it's not a measure of her talent. I don't think that she's ever going to get there. Do you know what I mean? I
don't make predictions.
Sure you do, Toddster Thomas. You're just always wrong.
Yeah, well, like, I'm wrong enough that I'm not confident about making any predictions about Doja Cat's. But do I think it's certainly a possibility that this might be her last year. Like, it could be. I don't know. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We'll see. We'll see with Doja Cat.
I just, like, the thing is, like Lizzo had a year off, but she's going to come back around. Do you know what I mean? Like, that I, like, and, you know, maybe I'll also be a Toddstradamus. Who knows? But, like, I do think that, like, she'll have, like, sometime in 2021, something's going to come out and Lizzo's going to rise back to the top again. Like, she's just too cream not to. And, yeah, I look at Lizzo and I look at Meg and I look at a lot of other artists and it's like, I like Doja Cat. She's fine, but, like, I just don't. I'm sort of surprised that she ever got out of, like, the moo I'm a cow phase.
Yeah, bitch, I'm a cow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last two performances I have up here are Dynamite and The Box. No disrespect to BTS or Roddy Ricch, but I was very tired at that point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it really is just like, it's a long show.
Yeah, and we were already over by the time Roddy Ricch took the stage. I think I liked it, but that literally happened an hour ago, and my brain is already leaking out of my ears.
I'm excited to see what Roddy Ricch does next.
Yeah, Roddy Ricch, like, rightfully one of the bigger artists of 2020. I'm rooting for him. But
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like Roddy and DaBaby, I think, are both poised to do really big things.
Mm-hmm. And then,
you know, and I've told you this. I think that Dua Lipa is going to put out the solo pop artist equivalent of OK Computer in the next year. I really do think that's going to happen.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Maybe I'll be a crazy person and wrong.
I don't even know what that would even be. But, okay, one last thing, which is the last thing that happened. And boy, what an awkward way to end a pretty good night.
Billie Eilish winning and then talking about Meg?
Yeah, she did not want, like, I was shocked that they gave her the award because I like that song a lot, but, like, I didn't think anyone was like, this is the best song of the year. No one had said that. I liked it a lot, but it's also a song about how she does not want any more success, and all the success she has is weighing her down, and she was genuinely shocked. Like, you could tell, even through her mask, her eyes went wide open. She was not prepared for this whatsoever, and it's like, I wonder who will be the white person who has to apologize to a black person to this night, and we made it almost all the way through, and then it happened. And
well, thank goodness it was Billie, because at least you knew it was genuine.
Yeah, like, you can tell she was, like, her discomfort was real. She's not going to Macklemore herself into awkwardness. You know, she's not going to Macklemore herself into more awkwardness. Like, she can't avoid the awkwardness of being the person who wrongfully won Megan Thee Stallion's award. But she handled it as well as I think anyone possibly could. But, like, she was the one who had the least to gain from getting another Grammy. She didn't want it, and she already has a bunch.
She'd already had a previous year of winning way more awards than anyone deserves to win. Like, yeah. She'd already gone through that, and we'd all watched her be very uncomfortable, just like Meg was the overall winner of the night. Like, Billie was the overall winner the year before, except it was, like, on a much larger scale. How many fucking awards did she win last Grammys? It felt like she won every award.
She certainly won all the big ones. Best song, best record, best album, best new artist, the big four. So Megan walking away with just best new artist of those, it still
it
felt
was
like
not
a
the
big
same.
night. Yeah, it still felt like a big night for Megan Thee Stallion, like a very big night because she won 2 awards on stage, which I think is more than anyone else won. So she came up twice, and so it was her night basically. But
yes,
still,
it was her. It was her, Beyonce, and again, like nobody relates to Beyonce. Beyonce is the stars above. Like that's a different thing. It's very like it was very strange because I had a lot of things that I assumed would or would not happen at the Grammys. I really thought somebody was going to mention The Weeknd and they didn't. I thought Dua Lipa was going to be completely shut out and she wasn't. I really didn't think that Billie would win anything this year. I thought she would just quietly take a year off.
Yeah,
and that she won that last award. It was so strange because, like, Billie Eilish never needs to win anything ever again.
Well, yeah, she said, like, in her video package, she said something like, this is, winning all those Grammys was the best night of my life. And I was like, you're fucking lying. You are
she's
lying, Billie Eilish.
She hated it. She hated it. She doesn't like winning. It's funny. Do you remember when they inducted Nirvana into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and they had Lorde come out and sing like a bunch of the songs?
I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
Billie Eilish is like the modern day Kurt Cobain. She does not know what the fuck to do with her fame at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't think she's gonna kill herself. I don't think she's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think she's damaged in the way that Kurt was, but like
yeah.
I think that they both struggle with fame in a very similar way.
No, it's literally what the song's about. It's literally, I got everything I wanted. It was a nightmare. That's literally the lyrics of the song.
Yep.
You're not waking up anytime soon.
There she is in the Stranger Things Upside Down.
Yeah. Like literally her video package was like her in a creepy room. Like she's like a creepy video game. Like you're like starting it alone in the dark.
Person.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Billie Eilish. She's great. And like it's fun listening to her do a James Bond song and everything. Like how desperately like do I want? But it reminded me that I was like, oh man, remember when Shirley Manson and Garbage to the World is Not Enough and like that Bond movie wasn't good, but what a cool song. Like
yeah. Billie
Eilish has got like that Shirley Manson energy, which you can't really fucking do any better than that in my book.
No, that's the highest compliment from you, but also from anyone.
Yeah, because Shirley Manson's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's so interesting to see like the different kinds of unattainable people can be. I'll never be like Billie Eilish. I wish. She's just so fucking chill. Like, there's just nobody like her. Ugh. I'm sorry you won, Billie. I know it's not what you wanted at all. You don't need to win. That's the thing. Billie Eilish doesn't need awards to be successful.
She doesn't need them and she doesn't want them. Why didn't you give it to the fucking Weeknd who actually does?
Yeah, the Weeknd wants it. The Weeknd's so thirsty for it. Just give it to the Weeknd.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like I don't know, like the last couple of years have like put the lie to the idea that the Grammys don't matter. Clearly they matter to the people, at least to a certain portion of the industry. It matters quite a bit to the Weeknd, and like when he doesn't, is like if they get it wrong, it matters if they get it wrong. So I get I don't know, and like this Grammys could have been a lot worse, especially considering all the controversy they were under. They even had like a Wells Fargo BP style apology video.
Oh, there was so like right at the very end.
Yeah,
they like posted a thing. I'm literally gonna read it because they like read it. What does it say? The Recording Academy and CBS condemn and denounce all forms of racism, sexism, violence,
please stop
anti-Semitism, and hate. Let's continue. No, I'm reading the whole thing.
No. No, please don't.
It's just such a fucking living nightmare. I was like, oh, are we sure this isn't what Billie Eilish was writing her song about? She looked into the future and saw that the Grammys were going to do this. It was like, I need to make art about this. It's terrible. Oh, it's like, I don't like, you ever just agree with something completely but still hate it?
Yes, all the time.
Yep, it was that. It was just a whole lot of that. Anyway, yep. What a time. What a night. There were a lot of great performances, at least. Like, I was shocked to see how many performances I really liked and how many times I was really, truly impressed. And
Yeah.
there were a lot. There were actually a lot of truly, truly great performances. For me, it was The Steps, the Haim song, and Dua Lipa, and DaBaby, and Lionel Richie and Brandi Carlile. Those are the big ones for me.
Yeah, full cosign. Those were my favorites too.
But that's a lot.
Sure.
That's a lot of really good performances for one night.
Like, yeah, and like even like the middling performances were like on a higher level than they usually were. And once we are back in the Staples Center in front of a large crowd with a large stage, I'm sure it's going to go back.
It will go right back to sucking.
It will absolutely go right back to sucking. The coronavirus did one good thing. It gave us a good Grammys. It's just so funny to me they gave it to the one person who didn't want it anymore. That's great.
That is peak Grammys.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for listening to this episode, which is no doubt on YouTube. While you're here, two quick things. Number one, we have a Patreon page where every single episode that we do, that's the main episode, there's a vote. So whatever one is up right now, go and vote in it. Just do a vote. And then if you want to have your voice heard, write a comment. We read a lot of comments in our podcast. Please do that. That's the number one. That's the most important thing. Except to say thank you for listening, of course. That's number one. Number two is please go and vote and partake in the collaborative part of this podcast. The third thing is, hey, the podcast needs money. And the great news is it only costs you $1, and then you get a bunch of free episodes, like equivalent, really, at this point. Like, we've got such a huge backlog of bonus episodes. If you give $1, you get all of them, and that's all it costs you is $1 a month.
Just $1.
And you know, Todd's very rich, but I'm broke. So thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the Grammys as much as we did. We hope that you also laughed at the fact that they only bleeped bucket once.